What's up, everybody? Tiffany Outdoors here today. I want to give you an update on a pothos vivarium. There's the hawk. Before there was a Tiffany Outdoors, there was Tiffany the farmer.
On U-turn when possible.
No, we're not U-turning.
Hi. Hi, what are you doing? Hi, Boo. What?
Y'all, this vivarium is doing very, very well. I'm very happy with the progress. I did have a little bit of die-off from the ficus pumila back here in the back, but this pothos plant is doing amazing. So, guess what? Today, I have
Hi.
Joe of My Things to Do, and the pothos plant actually came from her mother's house. So, she's going to take a trimming of it. Just a small trimming, or however big she wants, it doesn't matter. Pothos is very easy to grow. This stuff, you can't kill it. You just can't. Alright, so we're going to find some places that have some good root systems. Let me show you guys the root on this. There's a root right here. And it's already attaching itself to the back side of this. That's awesome. And here's another piece that's quite almost down to the dirt. So we're going to trim somewhere in there so that she has a good root system. And we have already have some substrate. We have substrate down there for her and a little pot. So we don't have to put that in water because it's already got a root system, right?
Right. We're not gonna. Usually, when you put plants inside of water, it is to grow roots. But because it already has roots, we can go directly into the potting soil and just make sure that we keep it moist. Not gonna overwater it to begin with.
And light, sunlight. It needs light.
Definitely sunlight. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, ma'am, I'm going to pass you the scissors and let you choose where you want to clip that.
Now, when you're cutting a plant and you want to grow the roots, you want to cut it right at the node. Because that's, if you see right here, that's where the roots grow at, right at the nodes.
Okay.
Because I see that this one's going to grow down into the dirt, I want to leave that one alone.
You can take it.
Actually, I really want to see it grow down into the dirt. I think that's going to be really beautiful.
Okay.
And I can actually just take it right here from this node right here. You see I'm going right behind that root, still right on the node itself.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
All right.
And it doesn't hurt the plant to, cut it back every now and then. There's some plants you definitely don't want to do that to. There's some trees that I really wish they wouldn't do that too. But it doesn't hurt the plant to cut it back because it's going to grow out more. As you see, this grows just fantastically.
Oh, yes.
And yeah, this is going to be really nice.
All right. So let's get you some substrate.
Yes.
And I'm going to moisten it with some dechlorinated water first, and then we're going to plant it in that pot there. So you can use, I got this smaller scoop, which probably be better, or you can use the bigger, any of those two bigger scoops.
The smaller one is actually going to be better for me. So I love that you've already pre-moistened this, which means I'm not going to have to water the plant after I have it in there. One of the things that some people make the mistake of is they pack the soil into whatever pot that they're planting a plant in. You don't want to do that. You want it to be loose.
Oh, okay.
And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with a little bit here at the bottom, about that much. It's not a whole lot, but
about 1/3 full.
Yeah, it's about 1/3 full. And then I'm going to put the plant in. So it does. I love that. See how the root is just going straight down into the soil. That's really nice. I like that. And let's see, I'm going to hold it right about there.
So you hold that root down, put it down in the soil,
This
So
is where
that's,
people would start packing it in because they're thinking that they have to pack it to keep the plant in. And you don't want to do that. You want to give the plant room to breathe.
Right. Okay. Now, was there a leaf close to that? Or is that just the root by itself? It
no,
only
no.
had 2 leaves on it?
It has 2 leaves on it. And
Okay.
I'm going to still bring the soil all the way up to here, about up to this part of the plant.
Okay.
I see the little tiny roots shooting off the side, and that's fine. I may bend it back into itself.
Okay.
But that's what's going to stabilize it in the pot. That's why I'm not going to be packing it, because bringing the soil all the way up is going to help.
Okay.
Once I do get it to the very top, just lightly packing it like this is all you really need.
Okay.
And voila, done.
Wow, just like that.
Yeah, just like that, it's done.
All right.
Hardly,
Looks good.
hardly dirty at all. Hardly dirty at all.
That's because you used the scooper.
That's true too. But I'm not afraid to get my hands into dirt.
So hopefully this does really well. We'll give you guys updates in a few weeks, and by then I'm pretty sure this has 2 emerged leaves, and then there's 1 leaf on the back side that still hasn't emerged just yet. It's got just a little nub of a leaf right there.
That's going to be pretty too.
So yeah, it's very, very easy to propagate these.
Once it starts growing out, I don't know, I'll have to find something to attach it to just continue on its loop.
Yeah.
Maybe you can help me find something.
I can do that.
Awesome.
Cool. While I have this vivarium open, I'm going to trim off all of that dead ficus pumila so that the plant's not using energy going into that dead section. And also, I'm going to put some springtail food in here for the springtails because I do still have springtails in there. So I want to keep those guys fed and happy. I'm very happy with this vivarium. I love the way it turned out. And I think it has the perfect amount of plants in it. It's not overcrowded, and the plants still have room to grow and keep on getting bigger and fuller. And I can't wait to see this thing just packed full with that with the pothos. That's going to be beautiful. And I can't wait to see how Joe's pothos turns out. So hopefully we'll be able to do a mini vivarium for her, get her going with one in her office so that she can have the same enjoyment in her office that I do in mine. And I'm just loving all of these vivariums. Let's take a look at the very first 10-gallon vivarium that I did and show you some changes and updates that need to happen in this one. So in this vivarium, I did add the zebra isopods that were left in the culture. I think there was either 4 or 5 left, not that many. And the fern back here is not doing that great. It's kind of failing. I might have some die off. It may totally die back. I'm not sure. I don't want to quite give up on it just yet, but I think it's probably done for. I'm going to give it some time to see if it'll recover, and usually there is some die back whenever you do add a plant in. There is some little bit of die off. I'm just going to give that a little bit more time to see if it recovers. And the ivy that I planted back there in the back totally did not do well at all. It all died off. I'm not having any luck with ivy in this vivarium, and I really want some ivy, but so far I've not had any luck. So I'm going to go ahead and clean all of that out and plant something else back there. I'm going to check my two bins here and see what kind of climbing plant I can find. I think I want to go with this fern. You guys remember the video where I was at the lake looking for isopods? That's where this fern came from. Actually, it's pretty slow growing, but I think I want to try it in my vivarium. So let's get this planted. And of course, I have to be careful of my isopods. I don't want to injure any of those while I plant this. Three times a charm. This would be the third plant that I've tried in here, so fingers crossed this one does well. It's got some new growth on it and it looks absolutely beautiful. It grew from just two little tiny leaves. All right, let's give this some water, a good water, and close it up. When you have vivariums and stuff like this, all this right here, this is all nutrition and stuff for your isopods and for the plants. So only thing I'm gonna do is take my scissors, chop this up a little bit finer, and I'm gonna put it right back into the vivarium. And the isopods will eat this, and it will just slowly over time break down like it would out in the forest. I'm just chopping it up to speed up that process. And then, as you guys know, with my fish tank water that I use whenever I'm doing water changes, I use that water as fertilizer. I don't use any chemical fertilizers in my vivariums. I'm just going to water that in. And that becomes natural compost. Next, let's take a dive into this nano vivarium. It's a 2.5 gallon vivarium. And so far, this is doing very well. It just needs a light trim. This fern is doing really well, and I'm really happy with how well this ivy is doing. It's grown all the way up to the top already, and it just needs a light trim in here. Nothing too crazy, and some watering. And I'll see if the isopods are still in here too. I did put some of the wild caught isopods in here, and hopefully they're still in there and doing well. I only saw one isopod in there. There were a few in there the other day. I just can't find them. Sometimes they do bury themselves down into the substrate, but like I said, this vivarium is doing really, really well. All right, let's go into the very last one. This vivarium is still new and still going through its breaking in period. I'll do that in quotes. It's been up for about a week at this point, maybe 2 weeks ish, and it's still finding its way. The tree on the hill is the one that I call this. And the tree looks great. Got some nice new growth here. Got the leaves are just jamming. They are jamming. I thought that I would have a little bit of dieback on this, but it's got new growth just right here. This is all new growth here. And so far it's doing very well. Now I do have some of the leaves, like that one there has a yellow tip on it. Some of those have yellow tips, and I'm guessing, y'all, I'm just guessing that because when I pulled this out of the pot, the roots were wrapped and wrapped and wrapped and wrapped. And I think it's just because the roots didn't have anywhere to go. So I'm hoping that that clears up after a month or so. And I'm still waiting for this moss to bounce back. These two pieces seem to be doing pretty good right now, and I've been watering these about twice a day. This piece right here may not bounce back, but that's okay because I still have more moss out in the yard that I can put in here. And this, just like the other ones, I also put food in for the springtails, and everything seems to be doing pretty well so far in this, but this one still needs some time to fill in and break in, as I would call it. But so far this one is doing okay. It's doing okay. Alright, so that was the update on all 4 vivariums so far. I am working on the 5th vivarium, and there will be a 6th vivarium. Yes, there's more to come. So if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.